How you do anything is how you do everything. And last night, I had an amazing opportunity to see a beautiful manifestation of this. I was watching the show Dying for Sex. And I was expecting something different, or I was expecting something lighter. And it was heavy in the best way possible. So heavy that I actually stayed up an hour past my bedtime to watch the entire season. And it was so good for me, for my soul, for what I do, that I had to. First thing this morning, I've been thinking about it last night. I journal about it. I'm like, I need to, I must talk about this. So like a little review of the show, an endorsement to watch it, with the caveat that it will make you look at things that you have been avoiding to look at. It will make you question if the way you are dealing or not dealing with your past experiences, the effects that it can have in your body, in your life, in your soul, in how you do anything. My name is Catherine Storing. I go by Kat, and I help amazing entrepreneurs and people that are looking to do great things in the world, and they know that there's some things that are stuck in their body, some things that have happened in the past that they have not been able to process, that still affects them today, how they interact with others, with themselves, and how they allow things to come to them. That is what I do. So now you can see why this show was so important to me. So this show is about this girl. Her name is Molly, and she is, I think her name is Molly, I don't remember. The name doesn't matter. The main character of the show, she is diagnosed with cancer, and she beats it the first time, and then life continues on to be the same, dysfunctionally, right? So the cancer comes back, and I think at the very core of the show, that is the essence of what really resonated with me, because she did not deal with the reasons why her life is the way it is. The cancer had to come back, had to help her realize that her life could be different. And at the end, spoiler alert, the show is called Dying for Sex. She actually dies in the show, and but she dies healed. And that, oh my God, it was so amazing, because she was able to find who she really was sexually, not only sexually, as a friend, as a daughter, as a wife, as an ex-wife, as a girlfriend, as someone that is true to herself. So if finding your voice has been an issue for you, and let me explain what that means. If you find yourself biting your tongue when you want something and someone is pushing their agenda, or even with good intentions, you're having an issue with your voice. If somebody does something that hurts you, and or not in the way that you want to, and you don't say anything, you're people pleasing, and that means that you're putting others before you, because you don't know how to express yourself, because you're afraid that if you show up in a certain way, you will be rejected. If you don't show people who you really are, something that I have struggled with in the past, hiding parts of myself that I found weird. The main character of the show, she had some weird, what do we call it, kinks, which I don't think has a negative connotation, but she had a preference of how she wanted to have sex, and her previous husband didn't even want to have sex with her, which I can only imagine. Actually, I cannot imagine. I know what that feels like. Terrible situation to be in. And on top of that, to not be able to have a pleasurable experience, that is just unimaginable, right? For years and years and years, because she didn't have the words, she didn't have the capacity, she didn't know how to access those feelings, because she had childhood trauma, and that trauma had carried all the way to her late 30s. I'm telling you, because I know this personally. I did not read this in a book. I read this in a book later, but I have lived it. When you don't deal with your childhood trauma, it will affect many relationships in your life. It will affect how you see the world. It will affect the things that you go after, the things that you pursue. It will affect how you allow others to treat you. Life can be so much better when you decide, I need to look at myself. And that's exactly what I did a couple of years ago. It was going to be 3 years now, where I got tired of having the same problems with different people. I got tired of having the same problems with the same people. And I got tired of having issues with myself, how I was showing up, how I was choosing to communicate, or the lack of communication, because I didn't have the words, because I was afraid of confrontation. I was afraid of anger, because anger was shown to me not in a healthy way when I was growing up. So I learned to fear anger. And I know many children of parents that don't know how to deal with their own anger. And maybe they have parents that also did not know how to deal with the pressures of the world, with the pressures of how do we raise this family? How do we pay this bill? How do I show people who I am? So if they don't know how to do that, how can they raise you to learn how to be that, how to embrace parts of you that are weird, that are different? I had to learn the hard way, and I continue to learn that I'm different, that I am not like everybody else, that I have opinions of my own, and I can respect your opinions, and I need you to. It is my desire, is something, is a core value of mine, that my beliefs, they don't need to be accepted, but they need to be respected. And that is something that I'm able to say now. I need my quality time with myself at the end of the day. I need time with me. When I'm at events or spend a little time with people, I need to de-people. I need to refrain, and that doesn't make me an avoidant. That makes me someone that is an introvert, someone that needs to reflect and digest everything that has happened and have a quality time with myself. I learned all of that after I paused what I was doing. I paused trying to please everyone, and I decided, what do I want? How do I want this? How do I want this conversation to go? And life changed completely. And that's why when this work, this somatic work that I experienced personally, came to my life, and then sound healing, when I put those things together in my own life and out of hypnosis, I realized that the way that I was helping entrepreneurs was really good, but it was not my sole purpose. It was not meeting my needs of helping people at a deeper level. Because if you want to make more money but you cannot receive it because inherently you think that you're not worthy, that you're a bad girl or a bad boy, then the money is not going to be able to, you're not going to be able to hold on to it if it comes, because you don't feel worthy. You don't know how to act. You don't know how to multiply it. You don't know how to invest it because you don't think you're worthy. Do you see how important it is to take a moment and make the decision to say, I want my life to be different. I want these demons, I want these past experiences to not longer define how I live. It is possible. It is very possible. If you watch the show, you would see that the main character tried her best not to face what happened to her. And she tried in so many ways, and every time she tried, it did not work. It couldn't work because she could not escape it. It followed her everywhere I go, everywhere she went, into every relationship, into everything that she did, until she surrendered and she said, okay, I'm gonna look at this thing. I need to face it. I need to talk about it. Tears down my face when she talked about what happened to her. I love how, like, throughout different episodes, more things came up that explained her behaviors, that explained why she didn't have her voice, that explained what she needed, the need to be in control, and how she learned to hone that and make it a superpower. I was so freaking proud of her, so proud of her, looking at those dark closets, looking under the bed and realizing, metaphorically of course, realizing that she could look, that she could embrace who she was, and to speak her truth, and to face her mother, and have that really, really difficult conversation with her mother. That was powerful and a half. She had that conversation. I was like, wow, I am so proud of her. I was uncomfortable, but it had to be said, and she said it. And even that relationship was healed at the end, and the mother was able to forgive herself, and she forgave her mother, and they were able to part ways in such a beautiful release. It was such a release. And then the healing that her own best friend had, in how she was able to face that she could love deeply, that she had the capability, and that helped her live her life even beyond her friend's life in a better, more fulfilled way. I am passionate about this because I'm passionate about this work. I've seen what it has done in my life, in the lives of those that I have helped, that I continue to help, and I can see I see the change in their eyes. I see when they see it, when they get it, they're like, oh my God, that's the thing. Even yesterday, I had a very simple conversation with someone and they were struggling with something. And I said, well, I wonder what happened in your childhood. And that's all I asked. And I asked it so lightly, so nonchalant. And the person said, well, this and that happened. I'm like, well, that's something that we can explore. And just like that, I could see it, like we kept talking, but I could see there were still, the wheels were turning because they're like, they were putting 2 and 2 and it was giving them 4. My friend, this is not only a review about this show, it is a calling and an urging for you to look under the bed, to look in the dark closets with someone that can walk you through the process, someone that can hold your hand and help you look. See that emotion, create an environment that is safe for you to feel it, heal it, and release it so you can express yourself, so you can find your voice finally, so you can ask for what you need in a way that is healthy, in a way that is authentically you. When you do that, when you're able to ask for what you need when you need it, when you're able to tell somebody off in the way that you need to, that is so freaking powerful. And I want all of that for you. And then some, I want that. So this is what I'm gonna suggest for you. When I started this work years ago, I used to call it a prescription. I actually designed a prescription pad. It was so freaking cute. Oh my God, maybe I'll ask my assistant to put a copy there. This is like 2 years ago. I had a prescription pad with my name and it had this beautiful girl. I'm gonna show you because it's adorable. So my prescription for you is to watch the show with tissues, a journal. And if you can procure to talk to someone, if hopefully you have a therapist, hopefully you have someone that can support you, do it in a way that is healthy for you, especially if you had some traumatic events in your life. If you don't have someone and you think, Kat, I need to have a conversation with you, we're gonna add another link to this video. I do have a link about signing up for the deeper work sessions. Those are amazing. But if you're not sure yet, you're like, Kat, I need to actually talk to you first before I figured out if the deeper work is for me, I'm gonna drop that link so you and I can have a conversation and see if you're a fit, if this work that I do is a fit for you and where you are in your life. Whatever you choose, please always take care of yourself. Make sure that you have the support that you need, because your life can be better than what it is right now. Your life can be lived in your own terms and you can accept yourself. Before you ask anybody else to accept you, you need to, you have to, you must accept yourself. When you do that, others will see that, they'll sense that, they'll respect you more, and then you'll be able to better enforce your boundaries because you know who you are and you accept who you are and you find your voice and you use that voice and you help others in their journey when you do that. I don't know if you knew that, but your healing is not just about you. Your healing is about others in your life. So thank you, that Dying for Sex show, for being created. I gotta go check if it's a book, why it was created. Beautifully done, so raw, so beautifully acted and directed. My God. And what a reminder that if we don't speak our truth, if we don't look under the bed, that those things are gonna catch up with us and not in a good way. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you decide to do the deeper work.